Welcome to the table. You are now listening to the Real Table podcast with Michael Carter.
That's right. We back. We back once again. We back once again on the Real Table podcast with your host, Michael Carter. Thank you once again for tuning in, for listening in to the Real Table podcast, where we just talk about movies, TV, and just entertainment in general. But mostly we focus on movies here at the table. Mostly we focus on movies. Last episode, Wicked for Good. Go check that out. It's everywhere. It's out in theaters. Let me know what you think. 7.5 for me. But before we keep going, Wicked for Good in previews. Highest movie total in previews. Selling movie when it comes to previews. 30.8 million according to Universal. And this is fresh from, I'm thinking this is tomorrow. This is this morning as of 7:32 a.m. on November 21st. This is fresh. 30.8 million in previews. Now, keep in mind, the preview started on Monday, so Amazon had their access previews on Monday night. So a lot of people who had Amazon Prime got access to tickets early to see the movie early. There was, if I'm not mistaken, there was just one showing all across the country for specific theaters. If you had Amazon Prime, you could go in and get tickets. That's what I did for Superman, and that's what I did for Wicked. And then on Tuesday, Wednesday, they also did some screenings. I think they did a double featurette this weekend too. I mean this week as well. And then obviously you got your normal Thursday showings, which people went to go see it for sure on Thursday. So Wicked already off to a good start, the best start on the year, beating out Fantastic Four First Steps, who made 24.4 million in previews. And then again, Wicked has those extra days with the Amazon Prime screenings, with the double feature type screening. They had a premium screening. They were basically Universal trying to do everything they can to get this movie in front of people early on, for word of mouth. I think Wicked's going to do well. I'm curious to see. I've already been seeing the reactions since Monday and just seeing how people have felt this movie. I can be confident. I'm confident. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm confident that this movie is not going to be as big as the first in terms of reaction. Instantly already, I can tell. You've got your people that love it or that are about it, that have seen the musical and stuff like that. And you've got people that haven't seen the musical and that are coming in for the first time, and they're left like, oh, okay, I like the first one better. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see money-wise how it plays out over time, because that's what Wicked did over time last year. When it came out a year ago from now, which is funny enough, over time it did so well. Its longevity was great. Played right before the Thanksgiving weekend, so you have all the families coming out. The challenge this year for Wicked, again, it's going to be Zootopia 2, which comes out next week on the 26th. Zootopia 2, which I feel like I've seen enough promotion about it. That's already going to be a big crowd pleaser, kid movie. If I'm not mistaken, it's going to be rated G. So it's like, it's going to be interesting to see how Wicked weathers the storm, because I think the reaction from this movie right now doesn't seem as high. I also don't have a cinema score from it. So it will be really interesting to see. Actually, let me go check on the Rotten Tomatoes score just to see where people are standing right now. Okay, see, so 97% for a general audience, for the audience is 97%, which isn't bad. The critic score is waning on the 70% side, right? So again, it'll be interesting to see, like, if right now this feeling and these reactions, and even from some of the people I've talked to, just to see if this is truly what it is for this movie. I thought this movie was going to be as big as the first one, and I still think it can be in terms of numbers, but in terms of reception, will that drag it down a bit? Maybe. I don't know. I still think people still are going to go see it. But Zootopia, I think that's going to be an interesting one to see how Zootopia lands. I saw a couple reactions to Zootopia 2, and I heard that it's pretty good. But again, overall longevity, it's going to be interesting to see what Wicked for Good can do. It already was announced not that long ago. I was just looking at it. Steven Schwartz says he and Winnie Holzman, Winnie is a big producer for this film, Winnie Holzman are developing a new Wicked project, right? It wouldn't be a sequel to Glinda and Elphaba's story, but instead a new idea that expands Oz in a new direction. Keep our eyes on that. I think Wicked is going to perform astronomically well at the box office. It's going to make its money and due just because the first one was so successful. So I think that's definitely a response to that, to kind of keep that story going. Again, if you haven't listened to my Wicked reaction, go back and listen to it. Also, funny story for those of you that are listening. In that podcast, I realized when I was editing, I didn't have my mic going through the right channel, right? So I use a site called Riverside, which shout out to Riverside. And my mic was going through the computer. So all my responses were coming to the computer, and I remember editing. I was like, "This sounds so weird," and it turns out my mic was going through the computer, so that sucks. But I was like, I'm not gonna have time to re-record it. So I did the best we could. The audio was fine for what it was, but that's so annoying. But it's kind of funny. Sweet. We're gonna be talking about Running Man today. But before we get there, there's some stuff I really want to dive into. Last episode, I was talking about Moana, the live action finally gets its trailer, and I want to watch it again for the second time, and I kind of want to react to it. I kind of want to react to it, and we can get into my thoughts on the next Disney live action remake. So, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you get to see. You can watch this with me. So let's dive in. Let's go.
I am a girl who loves my island, and the girl who loves the sea. It calls me.
There it is, Moana, live action, huh? So, for me, my first reaction is, we don't need this. So what are we doing? Right? We don't need Moana live action. So what are we doing? Moana came out in 2016, right? Almost 10 years ago, next year. What are we doing? Right. Here's the biggest thing that we've noticed with these remakes. The Disney live action remakes pull on nostalgia. Right? Now, if I'm not mistaken, the people that have grown up watching Moana, I'm not talking about this generation that's like 5 or 6 right now. I'm talking about people when it came out, they were like 5, 6, like they've been with it from the get. Are we really there with this property yet to make it make sense? Right? Somebody said it best on Twitter. I was reading it. Somebody was like, who is this for? Who is this movie for? Right? If we're now going to be 10 years next year, 10 years old for a movie, right? And we're already going, let's do a live action take when you just released a sequel, which, by the way, the sequel was super underwhelming, even though it made a lot of money, had songs in there that were not memorable, which the directors claimed months later, just stick with it. Your kids are going to be singing these songs. I have yet to hear one kid singing any song from Moana 2. Oh, but they're singing. We don't talk about Bruno. They're singing Let It Go. My niece is about to turn 3. She knows about Let It Go, right? She's singing Let It Go. So it feels like this is a weird strategic move on Disney's part. to go, we're going to go live action. I said it from the jump. This makes no sense. I get it. You got Moana's in your parks. You gotta profit off of it. But a Moana live action right now, dude, give it another 10 years and then we can come back to the table and go, sure. Right? But Disney wants to do it now. And I think the movie's going to make a whole lot of money. Right? It's going to make a whole lot of money. But like any Disney live action film, is it going to actually be good? Lilo and Stitch was fine. The pieces were there for Lilo and Stitch. The pieces were I could see it. I could see a really, really heartwarming, solid film that could be the best Disney live action take. But instead it just suffers because they didn't take the time to really tweak up the things that need to be tweaked up. The dialogue, some of the story, the pacing, some of the casting, right? It was close. This one, I'm like, but is it? Like, is it going to be good? Is it worth it? And again, I've talked to everybody, anybody. Yes, we get it that consumers are going to be in their seats. People are going to go show up and see it. I will eventually watch this movie, but even in the sense that I will eventually watch this movie, I don't need this movie. I own the original on DVD, on Blu-ray. I don't need a live action take on a story that I already quite enjoy in a format that came out almost 10 years ago. It's dumb. It's dumb. And if Disney can prove me wrong, and if this is a good live action take, not even good live action take, if they can prove me wrong, then cool. I will literally come back on here and I'll literally make a video talking about I was wrong, hands up. But like, let's be honest, Disney's track record is not good right now. Snow White not looking too good. Lilo and Stitch made that money, but the critics don't like it, and most people didn't care for it. What's going to be Moana's trajectory? Not looking too bright, right? Oh, and on top of that, they're supposed to be making a Moana 3 animated. Like, guys, that don't make any sense. At least finish out these animated movies and go 5 years from now, we're going to do a live action. It makes absolutely no sense. Even strategy wise, I go, it makes no sense. It makes no sense to be doing this live action film. So I think it's a waste. And I feel bad because these actors that are in the movie, there's one actor I kind of really don't feel too bad about. But there's multiple actors and people that playing a role in this movie I do feel bad for, because I go, you're just trying to find work, and this seems like this is the right thing for you, especially the young girl that's playing Moana. I'm going, I feel bad for her, because I go, I'm not saying you're set up to fail, but like, didn't need it. I'm even more surprised that we didn't get a Frozen live action before Moana. I love Moana. I'd argue that Frozen is bigger, right? And speaking of Frozen 3 and 4 are on the way, obviously. Kristen Bell and Dina Menzel and Josh Gad signed deals for like over $60 million to lock them in for those two films, which, again, we don't need this stuff. Again, I think that this is the biggest thing with Disney right now, is Disney needs a win that is outside of the things that they know, that the things that we know, the things that are familiar, right? And this next film could be it. I'm not sure yet, but I think this is another case where I go, people got to show up. I keep hearing conversations of people going, there's nothing out. On March, I want you to show up for this movie. It's called Hoppers. It's a Disney Pixar movie. This could be Pixar's comeback. I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping this is Pixar's comeback. We're going to watch a little bit of this trailer, and then we're going to talk a little bit, just very little bit about it. I'm excited about it. It could be good. But again, we'll see. Disney needs a win that's beyond IP. I don't care what Stitch does. I don't care what Stitch just did. I don't care what Moana will do. I just do not care. Disney needs a win that is out of their original stuff, out of their things that have already been created, out of their normal IPs. They need something original that can hit again, right? And the last time I think we got that was maybe in Kanto.
World. We call.
All right, let's start from the beginning.
Doc! Oh, I need your help. Mabel, I'm in the middle of class.
a class that you are enrolled in.
Sup, Mabel?
Come with me. The traditional methods to understand animals just weren't working. But we've done it, Mabel. We created a revolutionary technology that gives us unprecedented access to the animal world. We call it hoppers.
Huh?
We put this into this. Yes, this into this. Mabel, be careful! Whoa. And they were in the same den.
No.
I understand you.
What you doing, lady?
This is incredible!
Hey, what's your name, Beaver?
Mabel?
You want to live here, you better learn pond rules.
What are pond rules?
Oh, I am clearing the rest of the day. Let's hear it for Mabel, everyone. Rule number 1, don't be a stranger. Looking good, Fran. Tom, Laquan, Tamara, Prudence, Pete, Peter, Petey.
Yeah, it's crowded, but we're still alive.
Rule number 2, when you gotta eat, eat.
How did he get a little crown?
That's your question?
Fellow animals! The humans have stolen their last inch of land from us.
There he is.
We gotta fight back!
She seems to have become a Joan of Arc type rebel leader.
Mabel, we do not use hopping technology to upset the animal world. She found the button.
The Animal Council has been summoned. The shrill beaver is right.
Yeah!
Their treachery ends here, now.
Yeah!
Let's squish the humans.
Yeah! Wait, squish?
They squish us. Why shouldn't we squish one of them?
I really don't think we need to go all the way to squish.
That was intense.
Everybody here get
Out of control.
Over here!
Your life is in danger. You must do exactly as we say, Harry. LOL, I mean, Jerry. Drive now. Rocket ship.
Okay. It looks solid, right? It looks super interesting. Pixar is always the studio that has always tried to do something different and bring something different to stories and, you know, the places you can go. And that's the thing. I think this is right up Pixar's alley. And it just looks like a solid, good animated film that could be funny, right? I hope it's good. Again, I think even Pixar needs a win. Pixar needs a win bad. Disney needs a win too in that area of something that is not Toy Story, right? Something that's not Incredibles, right? So we'll see what Hoppers can do. I didn't even read the plot, so if you're listening, you have no idea what this is about. Animal lover Mabel uses clever new technology designed to hop human consciousness into lifelike robotic animals to communicate with beavers, uncovering mysteries within the animal world beyond anything she could have imagined. Sounds interesting, right? Nothing super crazy. The trailer didn't knock my socks off, but it feels like this could be a fun movie that can give a Pixar a win at the box office. Here's hoping that happens. Also, Disney needs to promote this movie. This is the perfect time to say this well before next year. And hopefully I can clip this out. Disney needs to promote Hoppers really hard. Do what you got to do. Get people in theaters. Don't just put this as a shoe-in just so you can usher in Toy Story 5. Right? If the movie is good and movies are good, people will show up. People will pay the dollar. People will pay the dime. They will show up. It's proven. Right? Promote Hoppers. Give this movie a chance. All right? Another trailer. Last trailer. This is trailer feast. I love it. New trailer for the new Hunger Games movie, The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping. Which, let me see if I can remind myself who directs this. I think it's the same director as Ballads and Songbirds. Excuse me. Let's see. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes was directed by Francis Lawrence, who I think directed the first one, if I'm not mistaken, the first Hunger Games. And this is also directed by Francis Lawrence. So Francis Lawrence, he didn't direct the first one, excuse me. He directed Catching Fire, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2, and he's just been locked in. It reminds me of David Yates when it comes to the Harry Potter franchise. I think Deathly Hallows Part 1, or no, it was Half-Blood is when David Yates got locked in. So Francis Lawrence has been locked in. This is the next Hunger Games movie, which is supposed to take place during Haymitch's Hunger Games. So Haymitch, played by, I can't think of his name right now, but a lot of the people that I've talked to that have read the Hunger Games have always wondered what Haymitch's Hunger Games was like. And so this takes place 24 years before the events of the Hunger Games for the reaping of the 50th Hunger Games, also known as the Second Quarter Quell. Right. So for people that have read the books, this is big, right? And so let's watch this trailer. Let's look at this new one.
Welcome, Panem, to the glorious reaping of District 12. Twice the number of tributes. Twice the glory. It's time for the Second Quarter Quell. Let the 50th Hunger Games begin!
I think these games are going to be different.
So a year from now, we'll be experiencing that movie November 20th, 2026. Sunrise on the Reaping. Yeah, that's right. Okay. I said that right. I think it looks great. I think Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes is the best Hunger Games movie. Argue with a wall. I think it's the best Hunger Games movie. From a storytelling standpoint and even visually. Francis Lawrence was in his bag during the last one. And so I think I have some high hopes for this film. Hoping it's just as good. A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. So I like this trailer. I think it's a really, really good trailer. Ralph Fiennes is in here playing President Snow. Jesse Plemons is in here. Glenn Close. Maya Hawke is on here. Kelvin Harrison Jr. is on here. Elle Fanning. Kieran Culkin. Looks like Billy Porter's also in here. There's definitely some names in here. So it'll be really interested. I'll be really interested to see more from this movie. But I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. I'm really looking forward to it. I think this movie has a chance to be even better, or if not as good as Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, right? So that's it for all the trailers today. Maybe one day we'll break down that Michael Jackson trailer. Probably maybe the next trailer we'll break it down a little bit more. We'll break it down. But that's it for trailers. Let me know what you think on those trailers. Growing consensus. I keep talking to people about Moana. It doesn't seem like anybody's really excited about it. Nobody's happy about it. Nobody really cares. But also they're like, okay, another live action film, right? Hoppers really haven't gotten a pulse. It's one of those movies I think people aren't going to be unaware of until Disney promotes it. Disney needs to promote Hoppers. Sunrise on the Reaping. I feel like I've seen some good reactions for it. I'll be interested to talk to more people in person about what they think about that film. Okay, Running Man. Edgar Wright, Running Man. Let's get it.
You know, I've been thinking about the show. For the next 30 days, everyone in the country is trying to murder me. And that's crazy, right?
People on these games never come back.
We have no choice. We need money for a doctor now.
Welcome to the Running Man. Contestants will be hunted for 30 days. Anyone can kill you.
Hunt them down!
Survive, and you will walk away with $1 billion new.
I always thought this was fake.
Oh, shit!
Feeling pretty real now.
I need weapons, an ID, and a disguise. Holy shit, is that C4?
That's not for sale.
Don't you get it? This game is rigged. I got a grenade! Back at you.
Everything okay, Mr. Springer?
Yeah.
You know why they cheered for you down there?
Go, go!
If you could survive against those goons, so can they.
I'm just trying to get back to my family.
They're here.
I'll be honest with you. I can't just let you win this game.
What the fuck is happening?
Welcome to the Running Man.
So with Running Man, I felt like I was really excited about it because I feel like Edgar Wright has a really good track record of making solid films. Let me see if I can name Edgar Wright's film. Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz. I haven't seen this, but Last Night in Soho. Edgar has a solid track record, and within the film community, he seems to be a liked and loved director. Like, people seem to like his work. He seems like a solid filmmaker, and people love what he brings to the table. And so seeing the trailer Running Man, which stars Glenn Powell, Josh Brolin, Michael Sierra's in it, Coleman Domingo, Lee Pace, Jamie Lawson, William H. Macy, Amelia Jones, and Daniel Ezra, and many more. When seeing the trailer, I was like, there was some excitement for it, that it could be fun. It looked like it was a good movie. It's that type of action movie that you know that you're just going to go to the theater and see, and you're not going to think too much about the plot, but you're hoping it's a good enough story, and you hope the action sequences are good. That's what I expected with the Running Man. And so when those reactions came out, a lot of reactions were kind of divided. There were people that enjoyed it and thought it was great, and there were people that thought it was messy, and people are now starting to wonder, which this is no disrespect to Edgar Wright, But people start to wonder, what's up with Edgar Wright, right? And if we're going to be honest, I think that question is fair. I won't say the question is fair because his last movie, The Last Night in Soho, did not do anything. It didn't crack. It didn't go anywhere. I still haven't seen it, but I just know it didn't make a mark. People who have seen it, I heard it was good, but again, I feel like Edgar Wright he's in this position where he can really take that leap or not, right? He was attached to do Ant-Man way back when. Creative differences told him that creative differences led him to depart the project, and obviously the rest is history. And he no longer did Ant-Man. Though his take on Ant-Man, that's definitely a take I would have liked to see. Right, would have loved to see it. But The Running Man, for those of you who don't know, desperate to save his sick daughter, working class Ben Richards is convinced by the Running Man's charming but ruthless producer to enter the deadly competition game as a last resort. But Ben's defiance, instincts, and grit turn him into an unexpected fan favorite and a threat to the entire system. As ratings skyrocket, so does the danger, and Ben must outwit not just the hunters, but a nation addicted to watching him fall. Now, this is a remake of an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that was made way back when. I don't have it right now, and I don't want to take the time to look for it. But old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. And if I'm not mistaken, it's a Stephen King novel. Somebody can correct me on that. But this is a remake. Anyways, I think this movie is an interesting movie for the Glenn Powells, and even looking at the Edgar Wrights. Can this movie traject them? Can keep pushing their career to where it needs to go? Is there a bigger trajectory with this film? Those were all the questions with it. Instead, I think Running Man, though I liked Running Man, I thought it was entertaining. I think I gave it a 3, like out of 5 stars. It's a 3 for me. It's fun. It loses its way in the second act, though. That's where we get to an unfortunate situation, because the first half of the movie, I'm clicking along and I think I'm vibing with the vibe. Edgar Wright has an interesting vibe as a director. It's very comedic. Not very comedic, but it's comedic. It feels kind of goofy, and I won't say there's a cheese to it, but there's somewhat a cheese to it, depending on what movies you've seen from him. And so that's what this movie really provided. The energy and the vibe was just a quirk cheese that felt different. And I wonder if Edgar Wright could have went on a different path, if the movie could have been different. So that's an interesting part about the movie, and an interesting thing for me to think about after watching the movie. Though, again, I thought it was quite entertaining. There's people that thought it was a complete mess, and I was like, no, it's not a complete mess. Though I do think this is that one movie where I go, I think this was Edgar Wright's moment to continue to push his career, because right now I go, is this Edgar Wright's ceiling? You know, again, I said it, I think I said it last episode. The Christopher Nolans, or maybe I didn't, but you're looking at the Christopher Nolans and you're looking at the Ryan Cooglers. When you look at Hollywood and you're looking at people that can carry a movie solely on their name and their skill set, right now in that boat is going Christopher Nolan and Ryan Coogler, period, right? You could maybe put Greta Gerwig in there because of Barbie, right? But I also would go, was Greta Gerwig the reason Barbie flew? Or was it just Margot Robbie and the marketing and Ryan Gosling, all that fun stuff, right? So, Christopher Nolan and Ryan Coogler, in my opinion, I'm like, these two are in a league of their own, right? And I don't think there's another filmmaker. And again, Steven Spielberg could do it. Steven's still that guy. Martin Scorsese, is he still that guy? He makes good movies, but do people flock to go see a Martin Scorsese film, right? I guess you can argue that about Steven Spielberg too, to a extent. But even though they're iconic and they're legends, again, right now you're looking, Christopher Nolan and Ryan Coogler are the guys right now. If you guys you give a budget to and you say you go do what you do, and you come back and we release the movie, and we'll both reap the benefits with profits, right? Edgar Wright's not that guy, and I'm wondering if he ever is going to be, right? And never say never, right? I think Edgar Wright is, out of most of the directors in Hollywood, he's super competent. I think he can do what you need him to do, or he can create a good project, right? Baby Driver. I'm not going to forget about Baby Driver. Baby Driver is such a good movie, right? I think Running Man needed a little bit of that Baby Driver magic, right? Glenn Powell. I think there's still that debate if Glenn Powell is a leading man or not. I think Glenn Powell is a leading man. I don't think he's hit that movie yet, right? He was in Top Gun Maverick, but I don't think he's hit that role yet that's putting him in the position to really, really, really fly, right? I thought Hitman was cool. Like, it was good. I need to see Twister. I know that was a hit with people. I need to see Twister. Anyone But You was also a hit, right? And so I feel like Glenn Powell is right now staying booked and busy, and I think he can be in a position to pick a script, right? He can be in a position to easily pick a script. But I don't know. I think I'm wondering, you got a question again. Running Man's success, does this hurt? Does this hurt him in the long run? I think sometimes he tended to overact in the movie. Again, a lot of that is due to the tone of the movie. I think I was conflicted with, I know this movie wants to be an exhilarating paced, yet sometimes comedic, not take a serious movie. But I'm wondering if Edgar Wright should have played more into that serious tone for this kind of movie and really pushed into it, which would have changed kind of the overall tone. Because sometimes I couldn't understand if a scene was supposed to be funny or if it was not. And then once I realized it was supposed to be funny, I was like, that was not good. That was not good. I wouldn't have led with that, right? So I think Glenn Powell 100% can be a leading man. He needs that right movie that's going to push him there. I don't think he's found that movie. He hasn't found that hit movie yet. Josh Brolin, great villain, played Thanos in Infinity War and Endgame. Josh Brolin is solid. I think he does everything that he needs to do. Yeah, I think he does everything he needs to do. Coleman Domingo steals the show, though. Coleman Domingo is fantastic in this. That role fits him perfectly, and I think he does everything he needs to do, and he's super entertaining. And every time he comes on screen, you love it. You just love it. Solid direction overall, but again, the movie that second act is where it falls. And I think too, like, even as I'm looking at it, when Amelia Jones's character comes into play is when the movie feels like it really starts to fall from it, right? I think the Michael Cera that scene was fine when he comes into play, but I think when Amelia Jones's character comes in, I go, all right, what are we doing? I think this is where it takes a turn, and maybe people can agree to disagree. I'm curious what other people thought, but I think that is where the movie started to suffer, and then from there, it can't reclaim itself. It can't make. It can't reclaim itself. It can't stand on solid ground at all. It just kind of, I'm like, oh, this is rough. We're getting rough. And I think for me, when I start getting antsy about a movie and its plot and what it's doing, I know for me, I'm like, ooh, I have a problem. I have a problem with what's going on. And so that's where for me is when the movie starts to kind of crack. Yeah, paced well up into the second act. It's visually fun. Again, the concept of this story is really, really good, right? I want to watch the Arnold Schwarzenegger version just to see it, just to understand what the source material is. But it's visually fun. It's fun watching some of those action scenes. Again, I think Glenn Powell can be a leading man. He needs the right movie for him to soar. I think his name, though, he's getting the exposure, right? He's in that one show that I will not watch because I heard it's not good. Chad Powers, right? He's in that show, and in that show, I haven't heard great things about it, so I've kind of stayed away from it. Yeah, I've kind of stayed away from it. I'm like, this is not my cup of tea if it's not going to good. If it's not that good. But again, I think with Glenn Powell, he just needs to he's just got to find that right project that's going to put him where it needs to be. Top Gun Maverick gave him, I think, more opportunity. But there needs that to be that next movie that can just be a hit, right? Because the Running Man basically fell at the box office. It wasn't the movie. It just didn't do well. I know I've seen this article right here where Glenn Powell's like, he's crushed that the movie didn't do well. And I won't say he's the next Tom Cruise, but I think he can be a leading front man that people can recognize and people can draw to in the seats. Again, there's another argument too about movie stars. Movie stars aren't a thing, dude. Right? Ask Sydney Sweeney about being a movie star. She wouldn't know what it is because she's not a movie star. Chrissy, right? I don't know if anybody, you might have not even heard of it. People might have not even heard of it. But her movie Chrissy failed at the box office. A biopic about a female boxer failed. She's trying again. That was, in my opinion, too. That's her moment. That's Sydney Sweeney's moment. She, like Glenn Powell, knocking on the door to become a star. But when that movie came out, which from the trailer, you would think, okay, people know her name. They're probably going to show up for her. Movie crashed and burned, right? I don't know how Sydney Sweeney recovers. There's a whole layers to her where I go, she's not it. You first got to be able to act. That's a whole other story. But Glenn Powell, I think he can do it. He needs the right project. And that doesn't mean getting into a Marvel movie, and doesn't mean being in a DC movie, which I would not be surprised if DC knocks on that door, or even Marvel knocks on his door and say, hey, what's up? But he just needs a movie that's really going to work, and that can send him to the place he needs to go. Unfortunate that the movie kind of failed. But while we're at it, let me look at the box office. $110 million budget. Big budget. So the breaking point could be as high as $275 million. Oof. So it'll be interesting to see, right? It'll be interesting to see if it could really climb out of that hole financially. And again, what doesn't help it is that Wicked is coming out this weekend, and you got Zootopia, and Friday Nights at Freddy's is the first weekend of December, and then after that, Avatar's in a couple weeks. It's not really looking good for The Running Man, unfortunately. And I hope it's that movie that maybe just has steady legs going forward. We'll see. It's not looking good. Not looking good for the film in general. But I enjoyed it overall. It is one of those movies where I'm not itching, and I'm not telling people you need to run to the theater to go see Running Man. Mm-mm. I saw it today. First off, basically matinee this morning, and I had an extra movie credit with Cinemark Movie Awards, which shout out to Cinemark Movie Awards, saving me money by paying for a ticket with credits I had already. So I didn't pay anything. I walked in and used the credit, and I paid for my movie. Shout out to Cinemark Movie Rewards. Again, honestly, if you're a moviegoer, go sign up for rewards. I'm telling you, I think you will reap the benefits if you go enough. Yeah. Overall, it's one of those movies where I go, you see it on a Tuesday, a cheap Tuesday, right? Go see it on a cheap Tuesday. I think it's entertaining enough to be a fun movie and for people to enjoy, right? Also, the cinema score, B+, solid rating, right? So the movie overall, even though it's not doing well financially, it's like the movie has a solid score. The reception overall is solid, even though some people lean differently, as it is with most movies, but there's no unanimous that this movie is great or this movie is incredible, right? It's very okay and it's solid. B+ rating, cinema score embodies that, right? So, Running Man, I say go see it if you're looking for something to watch and you're like, I don't want to go watch Wicked for good, right? I don't want to go watch that, or I don't want to go watch anything else that's in theaters right now, right? Go check out The Running Man. Go check it out. It's an entertaining movie, right? Again, that second act is not my favorite, but it's an entertaining movie, and it gets the job done for the movie going experience. So, Running Man, go check that out. I really want Glenn Powell to be a leading man. Again, we don't have superstars. We don't have those movie stars anymore. They're dying. Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise are like probably the only two biggest draws to theaters right now. So Hollywood lacks a star. Michael B. Jordan could be, right? Like, I'm curious with his next movie. Because Sinners, again, he was in Sinners, and I think Michael B. Jordan is definitely a face. And obviously, Sinners was one of those things where it wasn't just big off of just Ryan Coogler. I think there's that tandem between Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan that definitely helped this movie fly to where it needs to go. The Thomas Crown Affair is his next movie, and he's directing it. And so that should be really interesting to see how that movie is. March 5th, 2027. We're ways away from that, but that's Michael B. Jordan's next movie, and I'll be interested to see how well it does. It'll be very, very, very interesting. Okay. That's about to be it for the Real Table podcast today. Wicked for Good is out in theaters. Pumped for people to go see it, and hear the reactions, hear what people think. Running Man, go see Running Man. Go check that out. Zootopia's in theaters next week. I think there might be a recap episode, a rewatch episode coming online for Zootopia. Zootopia is that Disney movie where I think people forgot how really good it is story-wise. Right? People are like, oh, if it says something political, there's a good story in there. There's a rewatch episode. I think there's a rewatch episode in there somewhere. We'll see if I can make the time for it. Zootopia 2 is in theaters next week. That's about it for the Real Table podcast. Don't forget, like, subscribe, share. Let me know your thoughts. Will you see Running Man? Will you see Wicked for Good? Are you excited about Zootopia? What are you excited for right now? Let me know what you think. And I will talk to you real soon. You guys be safe out there. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you're enjoying the deep dives and the conversation around film, be sure to share and follow the podcast. Once again, thanks for coming to the table, and we'll see you next time.